Hello everyone, it's Charlton. An officer was shot and killed in Midland, Texas overnight the previous evening. So this happened Tuesday early morning hours at around 2:30 a.m. Midland, Texas is right there. It's basically West Texas. And it happened at the 3300 block of Eagle Grove in Midland, Texas, which is actually a fairly nice neighborhood, it seems to me. The individual who shot him, he believed it was a home invasion, and fired in the direction of the officer's flashlight. This happened, in the middle of the night. They were responding to a burglar alarm. The person who has now been charged with manslaughter has been identified. His name is David Charles Wilson, and as has the officer who was killed, who is Nathan Hayden Heidelberg. I'm nearly certain. The affidavit states over at CBS 7, it's just not entirely clear how this happened, so the district attorney, Laura Nodolf, released the arrest affidavit of probable cause in the shooting death of Midland Police Officer Nathan Heidelberg. According to the court documents, when officers arrived, they walked around the residence. There was 4 officers total that had arrived at the residence. This individual, the person who was shot, was with a probationary officer who he was training. Nathan was training an officer, and then 2 other officers arrived, on the scene just as he was calling it in. They circled the perimeter. I'm just sort of paraphrasing here. They circled the perimeter of the home, didn't observe anything unusual, and Nathan approached the front door, which I believe was either ajar or unlocked, and announced himself. According to the police press report, announced himself loudly, and then proceeded to enter into the residence, and it goes from there. Then the other 3, or one of the other 3 officers, heard a gunshot or gunshots. I believe in this affidavit it says he heard a gunshot and then nothing else. A moment later he heard another sound and observed the officer face down, in the residence. And then they began to provide CPR, etc. He was taken to the hospital. He died. The shooting happened at 2:30 in the morning. Even though the time is off in this affidavit, I think this report is incorrect. I don't believe that that's the proper time, the 2:20 a.m. I believe the shooting happened at 2:30 in the morning, and he later died at the hospital at 8:30 in the morning, Tuesday morning. It's now Wednesday morning, about that same time, 8:50. I don't know if Midland, Texas is the same as the East Coast. So, but also in another report, it said multiple shots were fired. I believe the press release put out by the police, the Midland Police Department, said multiple shots were fired in his direction. But it's just the reporting's not altogether clear on all of this. So, but it does, the neighborhood. I mean, that's what it's a little perplexing to me. I mean, just it seems like a very nice area. I mean, this is the Eagle Cove Road, and it seems like fairly nice, nice residences around here. I have no idea what home we're talking about. I'm just at the 3300 block of Eagle Grove, but it looks like large properties and pretty nice homes. So, and was the burglar alarm actually going off, as they circled the residence? It doesn't state that in the affidavit, but that's a possibility as well. And when you're inside the home and that burglar, I mean, those alarms can be so loud you can't hear possibly somebody announce themselves. I mean, I just don't know. So, but very quickly, if I could cruise through this, and the individual who was charged, who's the homeowner, and I'm fairly certain is an oil executive, is right there. David Charles Wilson. It was his home. I believe he's married with kids. So it says, according to the court documents, when officers arrived, they walked around the residence of David Charles Wilson and did not observe anything out of the ordinary. Officer Heidelberg noticed the front door was not secure. Heidelberg radioed back to dispatch as 2 other officers arrived to assist. One officer heard Heidelberg announce that Midland police officers were on the scene. That officer said he then heard a gunshot and asked Officer Heidelberg and the others if they were okay. All responded yes. He then heard a noise and found Officer Heidelberg lying face down. The officer attempted life-saving measures, and Heidelberg was taken to Midland Memorial Hospital. Heidelberg died around 2:20 a.m. I'm nearly certain that time is not correct. Texas Ranger Cody Allen spoke with the homeowner. Wilson admitted he was inside the residence and fired a gun in the direction of the officer. The ranger said in the affidavit that there is no evidence of anyone else discharging a firearm in the direction of the officers. Allen says he had probable cause to believe David Wilson committed the offense of manslaughter by recklessly causing the death of Officer Nathan Heidelberg. Midland Police Department Deputy Chief Michael Hedrick spoke to our information partners at KDFW after the procession transported Heidelberg to Tarrant County for an autopsy. Words can't describe how painful it is to lose a friend, lose a colleague, lose one of your subordinates, one of our employees. You train with these guys, you eat with these guys, you pray with these guys, you know their families. We're in mourning. Midland police officer was shot and killed overnight, according to a city spokesman. Midland Mayor Jerry Morales has identified the officer as 5-year veteran Nathan Hayden Heidelberg. An internal email obtained by multiple media sources reports that Heidelberg, his probationary police officer, plus 2 additional officers responded to a burglar alarm at a Midland home on Tuesday morning. The email says the officer made a loud announcement of their being there at the front door, but the homeowner believed the house was broken into. That his house was being broken into. The homeowner then shot toward the flashlight being held by the officer, hitting him above his bulletproof vest. He had a vest on, so it had to get him, either in the face or the head or in the neck. The homeowner then shot towards the flashlight being held by the officer, hitting him above his bulletproof vest. Despite MPD personnel trying to treat and transport the officer to the emergency room, he died from his injuries. Mayor Morales said the shooting happened around 2:30 a.m. Officer Heidelberg passed away at 8:30 a.m. Texas Rangers will be investigating the shooting. Yeah, man, it's obviously a terrible shame, and I don't know. It's just unusual, Again, the area is such that it's nice. It's a nice area, and it's just not a place where you would expect being a home invasion to take place. I don't know, but who knows? I guess it's Midland, Texas. I don't know. I don't know anything about Midland, Texas. So again, I believe the individual is an oil executive. 37-year-old Texas homeowner fatally shot police officer. He mistook for an invader after police responded to his Midland home for a burglary alarm. Authorities say David Charles Wilson was arrested after the shooting and charged with manslaughter in the Midland Police Department. Officer 27-year-old Hayden Heidelberg died at the local hospital after life-saving efforts were unsuccessful. Wilson, a married father of 3 and an oil company executive, told police he thought he was defending his million-dollar home from a burglar when he opened fire at Heidelberg and 3 other officers early Tuesday morning. Police responded to the alarm call at about 1:15 a.m. according to dispatch records. Heidelberg was rushed to the hospital but died about 2:20 a.m. So those times again. That's what the affidavit says, 2:20 a.m. So we just don't know exactly what time. I'm suspecting that he did die at 2:20 a.m. and that the shooting he died very quickly after the shooting. That it wasn't. I think that 8:30 a.m. is. Wilson, through his attorney, has offered condolences to the Heidelberg's family, but he is arguing that the shooting was in self-defense. Wilson, the president and CEO of Midland-based Unitex Oil and Gas, was released from custody Tuesday and is free on bail as the investigation into the shooting continues. I believe his bail was set at $75,000, I believe. All right, well, that's the story there, man. That is the story there. All right, thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.